Welcome to This Commerce Life. We are an unscripted podcast dedicated to small businesses and entrepreneurs in the retail and consumer packaged goods space in Canada and the United States.
I'm Phil Chang, co-host and co-founder.
And I'm Kenny Benucci, co-host and co-founder of This Commerce Life.
Our love is the journey to retail, and our passion is sharing that with you every week. Clown.
Oh, shit. I say yes to that.
Hey, guys.
Hey.
There you go.
Hey, how are you?
Good.
It's a
How are you guys?
two for one deal.
Awesome.
Yes.
Bogo.
Awesome.
A BOGO.
We love it. We were just praising you and
No, I wasn't.
and kind of cussing you out at the same
No,
time.
I wasn't praising anything. Not one.
Penny
good
was
word
very
to say.
grouchy. He's been eating your chips all
Let me know
weekend.
chips all fucking day. And I'm tired of eating chips.
We've heard it has a little bit of an
Oh my
addictive aspect
God,
to it.
like it's irritating. Anyway,
I had the whole clan upstairs. We opened all the bags.
Yeah.
And everyone picked it. So my wife has literally run away with barbecue chips. That's her thing.
that's my next bag.
Yeah. And then I'm the honey mustard.
Yeah,
is
it's a
my
sleeper
favorite.
flavor for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was kind of like, it actually, in all honesty, it was the last bag to get open.
Yeah.
Like dill was the first one to get open, and my daughter's all over that. And then my middle daughter, the salt and vinegar.
Mhm.
Yeah.
On, like she picked up the bag. She got home. She works at Longo's, so
Oh, nice.
she got home tonight. She was like, oh, with a burger. So it's just
Love it.
yeah. So
It's funny. It comes in waves because so we do a lot of demos, you know,
Yes.
because I think it's important to get people to taste the product. So
For sure.
I did a demo today at a Zare store locally. And every store is like, oh, barbecue is my favorite. And then like just when you think there's momentum, then suddenly it just shifts gears and the tide changes and it's like all salt and vinegar for a while. And so we're trying to get a handle on, you know, what's going to be our top flavors. And
You
You don't worry about it.
Velocity.
You got how many SKUs? I got 5 bags. Is that
Yeah,
5
we
SKUs?
launched
SKUs.
with 5.
Right. So
Okay.
the trick is sort of like the fun thing to do in this one is you give these ones like a 2-3 year run.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Maybe introduce another flavor next year, like go with 6 just for funsies, because
Mm.
otherwise retailers get bored of being excited.
Exactly.
And
They're already asking for us to innovate.
I know.
So.
But that's great when it's not their money, right? When it, you know,
Yes, exactly.
Exactly.
when they're going to do you the favor and list 2, not telling you they're
Sure.
going to delist 2,
Yeah.
that's not the greatest spot to be in. So
Swap
yeah,
it.
hang tough on that one. But it is kind of fun because that's what keeps people excited, right? I
Yeah.
mean, I didn't get the box until today. I think Amelia brought it home last night. I didn't see it till this morning, and I opened it up and I did the same thing. I went to the dill
Yep.
because I wanted, so that bag's done.
Yeah.
Like that was a late afternoon start. And then I had to eat dinner, and then I talked to him and I was just angry because I wasn't even hungry for dinner. Now I got a barbecue in my face and it's on the table. So that's probably going to be after dinner.
Yeah, a little snack.
So it's going to be like a 2-bag chip day or some bloody thing. It's just not good.
It's a good day.
Oh my God.
I'm okay.
I have
with
no
it.
control, no
I've been-
self-control.
Do we
I've been-
apologize? Are we apologizing? Is it?
No, not at all.
No, don't. It's
No,
not worth
don't.
it. It's all good.
Don't. Not at all.
Got nobody to
It
blame
brings-
except me.
Honestly, both of us love eating.
That's-
We've been a little out of control. So
Ah.
you just happen to be at the tail end.
Yeah.
I'll end up
We've
with
had
just a,
some incredible podcast guests on as
Right.
well, right? So like,
It's
isn't
been
that a
fun.
little bit problematic for
Yeah.
you guys that
Yeah,
you're
you're
having
always eating
to
stuff.
keep up with, you know, who you're inviting on?
well, the
to
worst part is
show?
we're eating all the time anyway. Like
Yeah.
half the time when we talk to each other, if we talk to each other like 10 times a day, is
Yeah.
half the time one of us is eating.
Yeah.
And I don't, now it's to the point where if I see him, I think food, I guess it's just like, it's
Yeah.
automatic. It's
Yeah.
completely not
Automatic.
healthy. It's a bad relationship, very unhealthy relationship.
That's fantastic.
Oh man.
Sad
we
battle.
should do some intros. So
So people know who we're mad at.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
We don't like these people.
If you haven't figured it out, we've got chips on. So we've been munching on chips all afternoon. So we've got Alicia and Jeff Lahey. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Founders of Humble Snacks. And we have been chowing down on Humble potato chips all day and kind of loving it, really. Yeah, it's been really good. So we're excited to have you on. You were one of those guests that I had never tried your chip before. I tried them at the CHFA show,
Yep.
and we were
But Jiren
pretty
stopped
wowed.
us, right?
Yeah, we were
Yep.
pretty wowed. Jiren said, "No, you got to come over here and try these," and then kind of didn't leave for a little while. Until the gelato kind of distracted us a little bit, but
Oh, yeah.
but other
They're a
but
great
otherwise, no,
neighbor
we
to have.
were around all day.
I had
kinda
to bounce
chowing
around
down
a
on
little bit,
chips,
right?
So yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, no, welcome to we're so excited to have
Yeah,
you
it's just
today.
cool.
Thanks for
We
having
are
us, guys.
we're excited to hear about your journey. I have questions, but I'm gonna save them all because I've done the little intro that we do, and then we'd love to hear about you guys and how you got to where you were first, and then we'll bring the questions for sure.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think our story is fun. So Jeff and I actually met each other while working at the largest salty snack company in the world. So we actually worked at Frito-Lay, where both of us started our careers. And we, love snacks. We love chips, and we really enjoyed our time working there. But we sort of started down a journey. I started down this journey of organic food and understanding, what GMOs are and what we're putting in pesticides, what we're spraying onto our food. And I decided that, I kind of wanted to switch out of, this side of the industry over to the natural foods industry, because it's just what I became really passionate about. And so moved over and worked for Nature's Path, which is like an incredible family-owned company. Yeah. Aaron and Ratna are outstanding humans and absolutely loved it there. And Jeff actually left too and moved over to the natural foods industry as well. And once we got over here, we started looking for like an organic flat potato chip, like, something similar to Lay's. And there wasn't any. And we were like, wow, what an opportunity, because we knew that subcategory of potato chips, of salty snacks, is the largest one, right? And so that was years ago, 10 years ago or something. And we sort of decided that we wanted to do it at some point, but at the same time, we were just like really enjoying ourselves in the natural foods side of things, working for some incredible company, kind of learning what everything was about, and really I worked for family-owned companies. So I also worked for Amy's Kitchen.
And I worked for companies that were probably more high growth, publicly traded companies. So I worked for Guru Energy Drink, early days. They're now publicly traded on the
TSX. Right.
And then I was very early on Amplify Snack Brands, which is the parent of Skinny Pop Popcorn. So they were just trickling into Canada when they hired me to oversee their Canadian business. And I was there for about close to 6 years, managing that Skinny Pop business. So again, a lot more snacks. And then, so it was always at the forefront. We certainly had it in our cupboards, where it was just always just kind of in our face.
Right.
So just conversationally, it was just always, why is nobody doing this potato chip business? And then 5 years ago, our son was born, and it kind of changed our outlook a little bit on, the industry and kind of the future of how we were looking at things. Really? And certainly top of mind was packaging, because that's something that we were influencing, in the sense that for every bag of popcorn or any product that we were selling in this industry, a lot of that product, was single use and, wasn't being recycled or just ended up in a landfill.
Yeah, for sure.
So it was kind of that revelation of, well, could we do, if we ever were to launch a product, could we do something in more sustainable packaging? Yeah. And so about 5 years ago, we went through that journey of kind of the viability and the commercialization of it. And eventually we got to a place of doing a, light and crispy organic potato chip, partnering with a local farmer here in Canada and doing these potato chips in compostable plastic-free packaging. And
I love the packaging. It's probably one of the things.
Awesome.
I spent a whole lot of time. It sounds weird maybe, but I spent a whole lot of time just holding the bag, because I can't.
It's the feel of it.
I can't believe,
right?
It's crinkly. It's kind of, it's like, you can tell that it's slightly off from single use.
Right.
But I still can't believe that with the shiny foil and everything that it's, that it's compostable, right? So that's
See,
Yeah.
I
And then
forgot the bag
you know,
was that filled. I grabbed it
Yeah.
today, and I'm
Yeah.
touching it, going, "Oh, this is pretty."
I spent a long time. The
It's
kids
pretty
thought
cool,
the
right?
kids thought I
Kinda
was
sad
having
you
a
sit here
seizure or
rubbing
something,
it,
right?
you know.
Because all I was doing was holding the bag. Because I read the thing. It was the first thing that I
See, that-
saw.
I saw that when it
And
opened.
then
I thought,
my
"Oh."
brain was like, I don't get it, right? Because it's a potato chip bag. Everybody knows these things are not, these are like the worst.
Yeah.
So then I did you look at the date then?
You know?
I looked at the dates, right?
Yeah,
I looked at
yeah,
the expired, so
yeah.
I thought, oh, these are going to be dead next week,
No.
right? Because this bag is
Nuh-uh.
not going to work.
Yeah.
right? And then
Yeah,
I read the
No,
dates.
it's got pretty good moisture and
Yeah.
oxygen barrier now.
Yeah.
It's been-
Who knew? Who
Yeah.
knew?
And I
Who knew, right?
love
It-
like coming from CPG, like you guys, when I started the journey of like thinking about more sustainable, I felt like, oh my God, my career is like this burning pit cesspool of just, because you spend your whole life in CPG going, how do I figure out how to get a consumer to buy more shit, right? Like,
Yep.
how do I get them to make the shopping basket bigger, to load
Yeah.
more shit?
More
And then when
trips,
you start on the sustainable path, you go, oh my God, all I did was try and bury the planet in packages, right? Like,
Yeah.
but I wasn't thinking about that, right? So I love what you're doing. It's
I think it's awesome.
amazing.
Yeah, it has this packaging. I mean, we're still iterating on it. It's like we said, it's been a 5-year journey, and we've had epic fails with the packaging as well along the way, like epic ones. But we're happy where we're at. We're still moving forward because the technology is moving fast, right? More and more people want to see this. More and more people know that plastic's breaking down into microplastics. It doesn't even just
It's in
go to
everything.
landfills.
It's in everything.
In us, it's
Everything.
invading.
We everything.
I think it's
Everything.
a silent kind of like epidemic, like that is going to about to become a much more, people
I
are going to be
agree.
more
It's
aware of
crazy.
it soon.
Yeah.
Right. And I say to everybody, I think you'll see all snack bags and other things too in this type of packaging in 5, 10 years. Is going to take some time, and hopefully it'll drive the cost down because, but it's, it's worth it. Somebody has to,
Yeah.
Well, someone's
I
got
think
to
people
do
need
it.
to know that you can do it, that it,
Yeah.
prove the concept. It can happen.
Right.
And you kind of have to, there's a few brands out there that are doing it, that is making, we're making and proving the point that this can happen, and we can just have these things, not have the major impact on the environment and for our kids, right? The planet's on fire. We, had some massive fires last summer. It's every year in San Francisco. I used to go there all the time with Amy's, and it was every year, like you could barely breathe because of the air was filled with soot, right? So it's something has to be done. And we just thought, if nobody else was doing it, why not us give it a shot, right?
Yeah. One of our biggest driving forces was when we started researching this, and we're talking to different packaging companies and large plastics, manufacturers that are, have a compostable division or have a compostable or some sort of sustainability, product line that they're able to sell. Was a lot of them had it
Already.
like it was
Really?
It's out there for years.
It was like, yeah, we have a compostable, it's BPI certified. Yeah, we've got this, we're working on this. And so
Really?
the options are out there, right? Like
We
this
just
is not
chose
a
not
new
to go
thing.
down
It's
that
cost a lot of times.
Cost.
It's
Cost.
cost is usually the first stumbler. I mean, when you're looking in packaging, and like you do the math, you think, okay, I need 2 potatoes a bag, pretend does 20 cents. And if I do this, it's 30 cents. And they get to packaging. Now it's $1.80. You're thinking,
Yeah.
like, what happened?
Yeah.
Like the whole cost is in the bag. You're thinking, this is insanity.
Yeah.
But you try to take things out of the bag, and it doesn't matter because the bag's the biggest part.
I know.
And that's why people cheap out.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly. When
right.
it gets to, and they're like, oh, you mean it cuts into our profitability? Oh, we can't do that now. We can't do that now.
We'll do that later because right now we need to make
Wow.
money.
When we have
Yeah,
to,
yeah,
or
yeah.
like, exactly.
Yeah.
So, we're kind of hopeful that some, younger brands are going to be able to do it. People are, we have kind of lucked out on the timing too, right? Salty snacks the category has traded up, right? There are, excellent brands like Siete that are sitting on the shelf in Canada from $5.99 to $7.99 a bag, right? The category has premiumized versus what it used to be when there was like 99-cent sales, right? So, the timing of the packaging technology getting really a lot better and the category premiumizing a bit allowed us to find this kind of sweet spot where, no, we're not making as much margin as other brands are. That's, obviously everybody has to know that, but it's worth it. And I worked for Amy's Kitchen, where I knew that, I learned from them that you can invest in quality and, perhaps not make as much money as everybody else, but people are obsessed with the product and it's great. And they put their money into making it great for a reason, for a purpose. And so we were like, we can make this work on both sides of the thing for the planet, putting purpose kind of ahead of profit, but still making sure that we have a viable business.
Right. I mean, it's still a business. You still need to make the money.
Exactly.
Sure.
Yeah.
You don't need to make as much potentially and move it into a different bucket.
But and you're in the, however you got here, the purpose before profit, it'll resonate now. Like, especially right at this very moment, right? Like we're in inflationary times, everyone's freaking out about pricing.
Yeah.
If I'm gonna pay that and help not put out the earth on fire, but at least not contribute and throw another log on it, then
Why
it's
not?
worth it, right? Like,
Yeah.
I
And at this
really-
point, things,
No.
all your
And it tastes
marginal
great.
competitors are going to
It
catch
just-
up in price too.
Yeah.
I mean, pricing's going up everywhere. Right? It's
Yeah,
just-
everywhere.
it
Yeah.
doesn't matter. You're not
Oh
going to
my
buy
gosh.
Lay's. You're not buying a bag of Lay's.
we
for
spent
99
all
cents.
week talking about pricing.
$5. Yeah.
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 It's just insane how expensive
Yeah.
things have gone. That's it's part of life, and we have to deal with it.
Yep.
But your products all of a sudden become right in a
Definitely
sweet
more so.
spot that you never even planned to be in. You're saying, okay, well,
Yep.
everybody's sort of caught
I'll
up.
be right back. I gotta move your chips. Like I've been eating them the entire
They're too close.
I left them downstairs. I told them. I came up before you guys got on. I said, fuck, I'm just leaving them on the table. I don't want to see
I had
them.
another bowl. I'm sure when I go upstairs, all the bags will be empty because I can hear them. Like the kitchen's right above me. I
Yeah.
just hear them like, the teenagers just mowing
Much
down on
better.
it. So
You guys are perfect examples of what we hoped would happen, right? Is that, we would catch people's eye with the packaging and say, oh, we are compostable packaging or plastic free. Like, oh, this is interesting.
impossible.
But
What?
if it doesn't taste good, nobody's ever going to buy it again.
Yeah, correct.
Right. So we spend a lot of time. My, our brother-in-law is a highly trained chef. He's from the Netherlands. He's here. He's like the level of a Red Seal chef.
Right.
There. And over the pandemic, while we were he helped us develop the seasonings by hand. He runs Dalhousie Agricultural College, the food program
wow.
there. He's there, and he is like, there's 40 kids on campus during the pandemic because they couldn't go home. So he had 40 kids that he had to feed while he was there. And those 40 kids helped. They were like our testing grounds
Oh,
for
that's awesome.
our chips.
cool
They were
is that, though,
trying
right?
them. Yeah.
How
So
cool
it was
is
pretty
that?
cool.
Well, at the end of the day,
Wow.
I don't, I'll save the planet only if it tastes good.
Only if
Yeah.
it tastes good. We
If
knew
it's
that.
shitty, I'm sorry, the planet's it's gonna have to suffer for a couple more weeks.
No, that's
Because,
and I think
I'm
that's
not
what
gonna do it.
most people would, right?
Yeah.
It's-
Well, I'm
you don't wanna
usually the honest
compromise
one.
on taste.
I don't care. I mean, I'll do my part all the way through, but I'm not gonna eat shitty food
Eat shitty
to save
food,
anybody.
exactly.
I mean, I
Yeah.
like what I eat.
Yep.
I mean, a little too much today, but that's a
I
problem
think
that I
it-
can control apparently. Well, should be able to control.
I can control it now because it's not in my line of sight.
Yeah,
There.
mine too.
It's
I left
over
it
there, but
I'm a floor
that
away.
bowl is getting finished
Oh,
before
yeah.
I go to
I'm
bed.
gonna do
tonight.
that. I'm
it's
doing
just-
barbecue
it's
after
wrong.
this. Barbecue.
Well, I got a mix going on now, right? Because I had to grab some before they all wipe them out, so I could come down and
Yeah, but
eat
I
them
can't mix
in
until
peace,
I've had
so-
individual
Oh
samples.
no, so I tried them
wanna
all,
muck
right?
them
So
all
I
up.
I gotta
Make a mixed
Yeah.
bowl.
anyway.
Yeah, I can
Yeah.
only do a mixed bowl after I've tried each. I'm not doing a mixed bowl to start. I don't know what's going on.
Wait. So let's go back. So you guys had this like, we got to do this. So when did you actually do this? Like when did you how this thing start?
Yeah. So my company that I was with, Amplify Snack Brands, we went through an acquisition, got acquired by the Hershey company. And for a while we stayed separate. And then eventually, as most acquisitions go, there becomes a place where the larger company
They're so stupid,
Yeah.
honestly. It's all-
takes control of the smaller
Yeah.
company. And that's what happened to me. And I had the opportunity to leave and transition the business out. And that afforded us kind of the time and energy for me to concentrate on this, on Humble potato chips, full time.
Mhm.
It was a year ago
So
in February.
February 2021. Yeah.
Okay.
So, and this has already been kind of brewing. And then,
Right.
there was kind of an interesting moment, where I was packing up, I sent my laptop off to my former employer, and it was kind of like, okay, like that's the end of the chapter. And we went for a walk. Well, we'll never forget this. We went for a walk.
Do you feel naked when that happens? Like,
like
There's
leaving
no
the
laptop.
laptop.
What are you gonna
It
do?
was, it was a weird moment.
My whole life is in the box. It just left. Like, what do
I left on good terms, but I definitely, packed up quickly on Friday morning and took it to the UPS store, wherever I sent it. I'm not even sure.
Yeah.
Anyway, we went for a walk that evening, Alicia, myself, and Wilder. And it was kind of just this, like, okay, like there's a new beginning about to happen. What's next? And it was kind of exciting and nerve-wracking all at the same time. And Alicia's like, maybe we should look into this potato chip business.
A little bit more.
A little bit more. This could be something.
Can we get it off the ground? Yeah.
Yeah. And we were kind of so serious several years prior that Alicia had started reaching out to potato farmers. And just very casually, like, this and that. Would you grow potatoes for us and all this?
Sorry.
So this is February 2021.
I want to pause there for a second. Do you know potato farmers, or did you like?
Nope.
Do you just?
Honestly, I started Googling organic potato farmers in Ontario. I did, and I found, and like I'll tell you, potato farmers aren't often online. They're not easy to find.
No, I wouldn't expect they would be.
Yeah, I found. I ended up finding one that I just kind of fell in love with their story, and it was from a newspaper article that I found online, and sent them a message because the only way I could find them was through Facebook. So they had a little Facebook page. So I sent a Facebook.
Not MySpace, maybe.
Yeah. But this was like 2 years before February 2021.
Okay.
Right, because we've been working on the packaging, but it was so expensive that there was no way to do it, so we kind of like left it and would come back to it. So we're out for this walk, and my phone pings. And I looked down, and it's literally that farmer, the farmer that we are partnered with today, that messaged me and said,
That's
hey,
crazy.
Yes. Hey, we would love to do this with you. We think it's such a cool idea. Sorry, I'm a farmer. I'm never on Facebook, but give me a call, basically.
Like 2 years later.
Yes. And I
That's
took my phone.
hilarious.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
At this moment, I'm like, if this isn't a sign, I don't know what is.
Yeah. So she's like, okay, you're definitely gonna try this potato chip thing, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you got no choice at that.
Oh
point.
my
Like that's
wild.
someone screaming at you that hey.
We've had a few moments like that through this
Wow.
this journey. So that was
But your journey's not that
2021.
long, just for very clear. Like you're in a year and a half. So so you
you're
fiddle
like-
farted around looking for farmer, but you didn't do anything with it. You played with
No.
packaging, priced it, probably
That's
drew
right.
some designs. But
So you kind of kicked it
It's a
down
pretty
the,
tight period
the
of
line
time,
a bunch
right?
of
It was
times,
literally
and then-
so the Monday morning afterwards, I started a new notebook.
Yep.
I had to purchase a new laptop. Like it was like, okay, what do we do? Well, where do we make it? Where do we get potatoes? Got to figure out the packaging design, a kind of a laundry list of where to go. How do we make the seasoning blends? And then things happened relatively quick, like, considering, like you said, the timeline. So we called Reiner, our brother-in-law, and we literally just threw it out there like, hey, would you help us with the seasoning blends? And then suddenly, not only would he do it, he was already starting. Like it was like, how
That's
are you
awesome.
already making seasoning blends for
he'd
potato
already-
chips? Like this, like what?
Yeah. He was
That's
like, oh, I love making
serendipitous, eh?
seasoning for potato chips. I make them here at the school all the time. And we're like,
What? What do you
Well,
mean?
for fries, I
What
bet.
do
Like
you
if you're
mean?
doing like potatoes. I mean,
Yeah. It was
No.
That is-
How many flavors do you make for fry? Like I'm not a
I don't
So,
know.
well,
He
we
had,
had,
a
like,
ribbon
15
chef
of
or
them.
anything, but
he sent us a pretty deep portfolio of
That's
seasoning blends.
funny.
Yeah.
right, like usually like 3 maybe. Salt,
Well, you
vinegar,
do like a
you
salty,
do
a
that
hot, or some
funky.
heat.
Yeah, he
whatever
had
that
that
herby-
the coffee one,
Yeah. It is.
coffee flavored. Like it was pretty cool. So
Yeah.
that
That's
happened, and
wild.
so everything just kind of snowballed. All the while, I'm working full time somewhere else. right? And Jeff is doing this kind of all, and I'm
Yeah.
sort of helping on the side. And
so, and just, we should also reiterate, although we've been doing chips and snacks most of our careers,
Yeah.
all sales, like,
Yeah.
right? Like
Yeah,
we
yeah,
are not,
yeah.
procurement, supply chain, type of
Apparently
people.
you are.
Well, we certainly,
we are.
we certainly
Apparently you
learned how
are.
to do that, but, so
Rapidly.
there was no Rolodex of seasoning houses. I didn't even, there was none of that.
Listen, you can find a potato farmer. I'm kind of like,
yeah, I mean, Google's a wonderful thing.
I feel like
That's
I feel
awesome.
like we're calling you guys for anything we need to find. Now.
yeah.
Don't you think,
Seriously?
Kenny? Like,
Oh, 100%. I'm not in the food in anything. If I need some, I'm just going to, hey, you guys see what you can do on this one.
The one thing, I don't know if this was kind of the sign of the pandemic and everybody being cooped up at home still, but calling people, there was a lot of no, we don't do that, or no, we can't do that, or we're not into organic, or whatever it is. But hey, call these people. Oh, I'm not really supposed to be telling you about my competitor, but maybe try calling them. And it was like,
that's cool.
okay, thanks. And so
That's good though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like,
it was nice.
So that
That's
gave
good.
me a lot of faith in kind of the journey, and I think the people out there, everyone wanted to help. That was a pretty cool moment for us.
So, yeah. So then all of a sudden we had a product, we had a little local potato chip guy here, and that was, has his own cookery basically and can make potatoes. And he was like, yeah, sure, I'll make your potato chips for samples, right? So that we can put the seasoning on it.
See what it does.
Okay, this tastes great. Let's try this out. And then Jeff and I have been in the industry for a long time. We knew all of the buyers, all the category managers.
Yeah.
Well, for sure. That's right.
We were we called them, and they gave us the time of day, and we pitched everybody, right? We pitched the idea, the concept, we sent them, brown paper bag samples, essentially.
So that was a year ago, last week.
Yes.
That
Our first samples.
we went on a little milk run, and we have literally brown paper bags.
Were you
Really
nervous?
fast.
And we just
Because,
dropped them off at everyone's house.
Yeah.
These are, because buyers are
Big mean
a
buyers.
little cantankerous,
No.
right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I don't want to put you in a weird spot, right? Because obviously you have very good relationships, but there
But they
are
are.
buyers that
Buyers are
I've called
buyers.
them that I know for sure that if I called them now, they're go away. You're
think
this big, and I don't
Well, we've worked, at some great brands and have done some great things with some retailers. So, these guys were pretty open to, to chatting.
And maybe
That's awesome.
Maybe they were seriously oh, Jeff and Alicia have something, and maybe there was a little bit of well, let's just humor them because
Well,
they brought us
Listen.
They brought us some great
so,
business.
maybe
It's
I'll
okay.
just try their chips and see how
Got a
it
couple
goes.
bags of chips out of it. I mean, what's the loss?
Yeah. And then all of a sudden, we were getting yeses.
Yeah.
We were getting yeses, right? From natural retailers, which we knew this is, where we wanted to really start and grow. But then there was the team at Loblaws who were yep, we love this idea.
Yeah.
We love this packaging thing. The chips taste great. We're into it. Sobeys, it was all of these things were happening. And we were okay, so, we were kind of pre-pitching it, and then we decided, we got to go, right? We got to make this stuff, and we got to get going. We had all these things kind of happening in the background, but it was time, and we were ordering the packaging because we knew we had figured out exactly what we were going to do and tested it. And
But your at this point, you didn't have a commercial co-packer in your back pocket. I mean, you had there's almost a guy he's got a kettle and some oil and says, I'll do it for you. I got nothing else to do today. That's not a great way to go to Loblaws or sign a deal with Sobeys.
Oh, we had
that was kind of it. We had some kind of soft pre-commits from some large retailers, not even large mass retailers, but important strategic retailers in this country, right? Whole Foods was another one that was
but they can do volume. It's one of them, it's not a kettle anymore.
That's pretty serious. Yes, that's I'll take it, all of it. What do you got, right? And you're I got 5 bags I made by hand.
Exactly. We got
17 bags coming.
Well, yeah. So
We
there's
convinced somebody to make it for us.
there's not many people in Canada that
I
make
didn't think there would be
potato
either.
chip.
Yeah.
Listen,
At
there's
least
not a lot
not-
of people in the kitchens in any capacity. We don't have a lot of production in the country. I
No.
think
No.
it's one thing we've
No.
definitively learned.
Yeah.
We don't have a lot of
In-
commissaries or whatever you want to call it. There's not a lot of
Yeah.
co-packing.
No.
And if it is, yeah, we can do for you. So it's 10 million bags.
Yep,
Yeah.
that's
And you're
right.
thinking, yeah, I know, but I don't have $50 million just kicking around, burning a hole in my
Exactly.
pocket.
Yeah,
Right. So it's hard in our country. I don't think people understand that. It's difficult.
it is really difficult to make things here. Yeah, we
But you found
left out-
somebody close.
yeah,
We did.
Mississauga.
Yeah, they're close, but they did not do organic production. So that
Mhm.
was
Certified.
another obstacle was, getting the facility.
And they actually
certified
decided
organic.
to do that too.
and
Yes.
and having them agree
Cost
to
on
do
that too.
is another piece of, because it changes their processes, right?
Changes
They
everything.
have to do.
convince them to run the packaging. It's not the same as plastic on machines,
And,
right?
machines will chew it up, spit it out. I'm sure it must have
So
crimpled,
convince them to do
crunched.
the packaging. Yeah,
Heat
it was.
doesn't, holy shit, man.
They gave us
It
a
was-
shot.
Yeah, it was a little touch and go. I'll be honest with you. I thought we were doomed to the first test we did, but
Yeah.
they've.
Well, see, I
to their
didn't know the
credit, they
back
stuck
end.
with it.
I thought when you were thinking, I'm thinking days, I'm thinking, okay, realistically, because none of the machinery is going to understand how to handle the packaging,
Yeah.
high speeds, heat, like all the shit
Yep.
that goes wrong with it, right?
Yep.
And then, you packaging it to get and all this stuff. So I'm thinking, okay, these guys probably started in 2019, first couple bags on the shelf, late 2019, then pandemic hits and, they just muddle through. I mean, in a year and a little bit
Mm.
in, white
Wow.
space and literally a bag that's kind of in white space
Yeah.
as well.
Wow.
I don't
Holy
know.
shit.
Honestly, sometimes I
We-
look around and I don't even know how the last year and a half has gone by. Like
I can't see it for you and I'm not even involved. I can't even tell you. Wow.
We've been
Wow.
we've been quick to adjust. I think we've also have some good gut instinct as well, where we're
Great
just like,
advisors.
and our advisors were, we knew right away, like we needed to move on something versus letting it percolate or
Okay.
letting it hit.
No, if you're
the
going to go,
market.
but it's still,
It was-
that's,
Yeah.
It
wow.
was like, no, we got to, this isn't good enough. And then, so then we changed it again, and it would, and certainly like, like there's some costs associated with that, but they're, a little bit, I would say on the minimal side, like
Right.
it wasn't exorbitant costs.
Yep.
And so here we are, in probably our third packaging,
Different type. Yeah.
in 6 months, like,
We've
really.
Third run.
We've changed it. We've had to change it slightly. Like, so the first I mentioned a packaging fail. So October of 2021 is our first production run. Everybody's all lined up, retailers like Loblaws, the whole thing, everybody's ready to rock. We run the packaging, and there was a mistake in the packaging and the way that it was printed. It was not properly printed. The ink was on the inside of the bag, and all of a sudden the chips within
Oh,
days tasted
no.
like ink. And it was Halloween. Yeah, it was right around Halloween. And we had to pull every single case that we made. We could not sell it. It was
That's
devastating.
heartbreaking.
Yep, it was
Yeah.
devastating.
didn't even ship it.
It was
A
a
whole
very
order?
hard. Yeah.
We had orders.
Oh yeah.
Well, we had
Love
orders,
The,
yeah.
Everybody's. It was. It was.
So, and you had
yeah,
no bags now because all
We
the
had no
bags are junk.
That's right. No
Oh,
bags.
no,
Really.
you know what hurts the most is that phone call or that email, or the phone call
Yeah,
and the
we-
email.
So we thought, right?
Yeah.
So that was the big pain in our stomach of, oh goodness,
We
like,
gotta tell
we're going to
everybody.
disappoint all of these retailers.
Oh no, screw the retailers, right? Like they'll get over it, right? No, really, they'll get over it. But for
You
you
did.
guys, like that's that.
Plus, how do you go back? It's
Like
just
that's
I'd be
so
thinking, oh
heartbreaking
my
to send
God.
that
It was
note,
just
right?
off.
Like
Yeah.
it
Shit.
is.
Yeah. It was. It was a moment. We took a few days and we were sad. Like it was shit. But then
That's really terrible.
Kinda pick
Well,
yourself back
and
up
that's the
and
gift
have
that
it
keeps
fixed.
on giving, right? Because you don't ship it. You got to answer all the same questions to every single buyer. You got to be super patient, and then still the questions come of like, well, what do we do with it now? Where do where do I expense it? Like, is there another credit card I can use? Like that? Like it just.
Because you got to go buy new packaging now, obviously.
Yeah, we had to go
Can
buy
you
a
tell
12
I've done a recall before?
And do
Like
you source
it's
the
just
packaging from where?
It's a joy. Like
have multiple. So yeah,
Wow.
we had to go and well, we couldn't use that packaging, obviously.
No,
We had to
obviously.
make some changes with.
Yeah, but it's not
the-
15 minutes. You don't phone somebody and say, hey, by the way,
No,
now
but
send me
they,
10,000
you know,
bags.
So our current providers, or the provider that gave us that packaging kind of admitted, hey,
They messed up.
and like not like that they knew about it, but like after we presented.
Well, no shit. I mean, you didn't
what happened,
put
so
ink
they
on the
acknowledged
inside.
it.
I
They
mean,
didn't.
Yeah.
They came to the table.
Yeah.
And,
hope.
you know, and then so we worked with them on developing a new. In the meantime, yeah, we had, you know, everybody else that was on our bench, you know, pitching
Yeah.
theirs.
Because you can't source this stuff. You can't, it can't be from one place either, right? Like
Yeah.
technology moves, like as we know, packaging messes up too, right? So
Mhm.
It does.
well, I will say we sent out our letter to the retailers. We called some of them. We sent out the letter to the distributors, to retailers. Everybody was, we had POs in house. And the response was incredible.
Yeah.
The grace that we were given in this situation was out of this world. And everyone just said, okay, so let us
when you're
know
ready.
when you're ready. You know, let us know when it's ready, because we're
Wow.
still here for you guys. So
Amazing.
we worked fast and fixed it up. And
So we were, yeah, so this
Amazing.
was Halloween, and I think we did a few packaging trials, and I think by December 21st, we
Under 60 days.
yep,
yeah, we think we
we had the right one.
had the right
You
one.
guys are.
We produced.
You know, this
is
at the
not
end of
norm- this is-
January.
That's not normal. Like, I mean, I'm
I
dead
know.
serious.
I-
See, supply chain was
amazing. You guys are.
supply chain was already being screwed up. The supply chain's
Do
not
you
a problem in the last
sleep or
month.
what? Like you
No.
both look great. Like no bags under your eyes. Like you look
It
super
was-
calm. Like
it was a long
Yeah,
couple months.
Yeah, for sure. It was a
Yeah.
stressful fall.
That's
I
super
would
fast,
say.
guys. That is
2021.
super fast. I thought, okay, your
Wow,
lead
hats
time is
off
back
to
up
you.
to
That's
9120
craziness.
that you guys launched
Yeah.
probably sometime in March.
No,
And not through any fault of your own. I mean, you can only move
No.
the supply chain
Yeah,
as
yeah,
much
yeah.
as it moves. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
I can't make bags. I don't have a bag and
People-
tree in the backyard. I mean,
Yeah,
do you do?
and there's been this like halo of people just like wanting us to succeed and wanting to help,
Yeah.
right?
that's
And like
fantastic.
people are moving fast. We're moving
Mhm,
fast and
mhm.
trying really hard to make things work. So we
So you actually
we
caught
produced-
Christmas.
Yeah. So
It
we
was-
produced so that we were confirmed the packaging that we were going to use. Like we had tested 3 or 4 other
Right.
versions, confirmed it right before Christmas, and we produced the end of January.
Yeah.
And we
That's
had our
fantastic.
first shipment into retailers in February, the 1st
Yeah.
of February
That's super
of this
fast.
year. Yeah.
Super
And the first
fast.
round of packaging was
Wasn't
wrinkly, right?
Yeah.
Like it was, and you know why? The weirdest, because it's made of plants, right? It gets to stores. I don't know if you guys, I didn't know this, but I had to take a humidifier into grocery stores, little Humidex thing, and stores have like 10% relative humidity.
in the
Yeah.
middle of January
It-
here in Canada.
Well, anytime really. It has, so the bag's made of plants, and what happens when a plant loses its moisture? It wrinkles, it crinkles,
Wrinkles
Yeah.
it shrivels up. That's what happens. So our bags are made from plants, and
Really?
that happened. So the first that's out there, it didn't have any impact on the product inside. It just looked awful. It didn't look pretty. So we adjusted again.
Yeah.
New bags are, now new bags are on shelf. We don't have that like kind of weird wrinkle in
Right.
it. The stuff that you guys have is the most current, but we're still,
Mhm, mhm.
we're like, what's 4.0? Like, how can we make this better? How can we make it stronger? It doesn't act exactly, although the properties are very close to plastic from humidity and oxygen. You pile a bunch of bags on top of each other, the leak holes are going to happen faster than a plastic bag would, right?
Okay.
So we're
Yeah.
But
trying.
it doesn't matter. It's the whole point of your product is fast. It's supposed to be quick anyway.
Exactly.
Like, so 2.5 months, 2 months, 3 months max.
Yeah, yeah.
Let's
You got
go.
it.
Giddy
Yeah,
up.
you
Next
got
batch,
it.
next batch.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that was the other piece, with our product line, it was the compostable packaging is new, and there's some education to be done still with even the consumers of like what it is, what you do with it, etc. I think we're fortunate in the sense of our potato chip is a very straightforward proposition.
Yes.
Like it's not complicated, right?
Yep.
It's potato chips
Yep.
done the way you probably have them in your cupboard otherwise.
Mhm.
And we just use an organic potato
Yeah.
with organic seasonings. Like it's not a big reach for people. So I think that's what's also helping drive, I think,
Yeah, it's
trial
easy.
right now. It's straightforward.
Yeah.
It comes down to, I look at, do I like it? How much more am I paying for it? Am I comfortable with that?
Yeah.
If I'm lucky enough to try it maybe before I buy it, like you did the demo today or said it's
But-
theirs,
but-
it's
but
easy
it's a-
peasy.
It's also a clear, visible benefit. Like this is one of those
For sure.
categories that in your brain, whether you admit it out loud or not, you know that what you're normally buying is really, really bad for the
You know what's wrong.
environment.
I mean, I hate to say
Like,
it that
you
way,
know
but you
it's
know what's
wrong,
wrong,
right?
You know what's
It's-
wrong.
It's like every time you pull saran wrap, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ugh.
You know,
Yeah.
nah, this is the easiest way, but you know, like this crap's bad, right? Like I
But
shouldn't
still
be
do
using
it.
this, right? So,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know, so yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, that's so. Are you like, because you must be returning as much value to your packaging supplier
Yeah.
as they're giving you now, right? Because you're scaling new sustainable product that we don't really know, like how many a Humidex in the grocery store.
Yeah.
It is not like, you know,
Right.
like I've sold yogurt, so I know exactly what temperature it needs to be. Like, you know, when you move it from one place to another, so you know, but
Yeah.
like nobody ever looks at
Plus, you're different.
packaging.
This country's a
like
different
that.
country. You
Well,
guys,
so
Exactly.
like
so-
I'm in on the coast, like in Vancouver.
It's very different.
Our humidity is always there. We got a big chunk of water sitting beside
But
us.
we
man.
know
It's
what it does to
always-
the stuff inside the package, right?
I
But we don't
know.
actually know what it does to the package because
Because
the package has
typically
always been consistent,
plastic
right?
or
Like,
foil. I mean,
Exactly.
yeah,
it does
so
nothing.
who cares, right? As
Yeah.
long as
Exactly.
like,
Really. So we're kind of like testing it out for all of the,
Interesting.
everybody that we have partnered
Yeah.
with here on packaging and stuff. We're a little bit of a guinea pig too.
Oh, they must be
Right.
thrilled. I would be thrilled to have you guys if I was
Yeah.
on that. Well, because I'm learning with you. We keep going. I mean,
Right.
who knows what we can do with this thing, right? That's
And
how
And
I'd
we
be
have
thinking.
we've been really like open about if brands want to do this, like we're not hiding this from anybody. We will
We
help
shouldn't.
you. We will walk you to, we will take you there. We will help you. We will share with you what
Yeah.
we know. I even, I've helped a couple of beauty brands get into, or like look at getting into hard plastics, like hard
Mhm.
plant-based plastic and things,
Yeah.
because what's the point of like, because we get asked a lot, did you patent it? Well, absolutely not.
Mhm.
No, because the point of this is to get more brands into
Yeah,
it,
yeah.
right? Is to make a
Yeah.
bigger impact. We're just one small brand, but if like we can kind of, and so, packaging suppliers love that too.
Yeah. Even in our category, we have somebody that plays in salty snacks, and they reached out, and I gave them a list of 5 vendors, our current vendor and 4 other vendors that we're testing their packaging of.
Yeah.
It's like, here, have at
Wow.
it, and
Listen,
like,
if you don't
amazing.
share it, that's great. So you own it, you patent it. How many problems do we have on this planet because of that? And I get
Right.
the money side. I'm not stupid. I mean, if I had the really cool idea and patent and make the money on, I get that. I get it.
Mhm.
yeah,
But on this one here is if you are trying to do better,
Yeah.
you need more people to have access to it. Otherwise, I can't eat enough. Well, apparently I can. I can't eat enough of your chips to make that much of a difference. I might
Right.
prove that wrong by the end of the night, but that's again a different podcast.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? If you can get
Yeah.
10 snack guys,
That's right.
shit,
board.
that's you start to make a difference real
Yeah, yeah,
fast,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And as long as you do your
Yeah.
thing, get good potatoes, do a good job on the spicing,
Yeah.
stick to your quality, don't
Yeah.
fart around and cheap out here and there.
Yeah.
I mean, you obviously your chips are good. I mean, it's
Yeah, they're good.
not a
They're
stretch.
really good.
What is
Right.
that? What is that? What is it? 19 billion bags of chips? 19
In
billion
Canada?
bags? No, it's 2 billion in Canada.
27.
Yeah, of chips go into a landfill every year in North America. That is enough to wrap
That's
the earth
insane.
256 times every year in North America only.
That's just chips. That's one small
That's one.
category.
Think
Yeah, it's
about
one
like the
category.
plastic bags inside
Yeah,
of
yeah, yeah.
crackers. Think about
Exactly.
the,
Yeah.
Cereal.
cereal, all of that stuff, right? Like that, once there are a few brands that prove the point that it can be done, right? And makes it commercially viable, then it's just, we hope
You
that
just
it's
need
a snowball.
consumers to go on to it. Listen, when I listed,
Okay.
even I remember listing when I listed Nature's Path
Yeah.
for the first time.
Mhm.
When you could buy Rice Krispies at that time for $1.99 or Corn Flakes for 700 grams or whatever it was,
Yeah.
and then people were looking at a 350 gram
Yeah.
alternative because it was same, but for
Yeah.
$4.99. And I remember everybody saying, "Oh, it's never going to sell. It's never going to sell." And you're
Yeah.
thinking, if we don't give this a shot,
That's right. Yeah.
like
Yeah.
everybody's got to do their part. Someone's got to make it. Someone's got to list it. And then someone's got to buy it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. But as long as everybody does their part of the way, as long as it's priced properly and it tastes good, it's well
Yeah.
done, it'll go. Like your chips taste really good.
Yeah.
It should be a no-brainer. Now, if you're a $9.99 a bag, I'm going to tell you both, you got a problem. That's
Yeah.
going to be
Yeah.
a tough one. You might sell it, but you're going to sell one bag.
Exactly.
not hundreds, right? But you
Yeah.
definitely don't need to be $1.99 and cheap out on shitty componentry.
Right. Exactly. So
Right?
you don't
There's
do
no
that.
point to that.
Nope.
No.
Yeah.
Wow. And you guys are everywhere. Like I'm looking at where you're.
So what is the
where
listing
to
base like?
buy
Right? Are
it, and
you
it's,
like
it's they're everywhere.
Yeah,
They're-
we have I think the last count was in 5 months we were in 1,000 stores across
that's
the
really
board.
good, guys.
Okay,
And are
Yeah.
you
they're all the
distributing?
big banners.
Not
like,
DSD. You're doing
yeah.
through distributor?
No, doing
We have a
we have a
distributor.
couple of
Okay.
distributors, yeah.
And we're
And so
shipping around.
warehouse, so retailers are warehousing. We never retailed chips in warehouses till only about 10 years ago, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
you
Right.
know, maybe that was all
Yeah.
DSD business. There's
Yeah.
only two of you.
DSD.
Well, there's
Yeah.
two guys. I mean, it's Old Dutch or Lay's. I
Or-
mean, you know,
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
right? But
yeah.
it was because what the timing wasn't long enough. You couldn't get. You needed 9 months, not 3.
Yeah. For everything to turn. So yeah.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's
Wow.
really impressive.
We're just launching Sobeys and Safeway stores now.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
You'll see it
so that'll
out
be over and above the 1,000. So that's rolling out this month.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
It's pretty great. I started my career at Sobeys Talon, so I'm pretty slinging
Okay.
potatoes in the produce department. So I'm pretty
Yeah,
pumped
yeah.
You
about
may
that.
need to
Nova
tell-
Scotia. I'm from Nova Scotia,
Yeah.
so I have like a little bit of.
Well, that's a little
Yeah.
personal,
in
right?
case you don't
Yeah.
know where Sobeys Talon is.
I'm sure you don't.
Not really.
Yeah.
But we just figured it's probably close to home.
Yes.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
That's
Oh,
pretty
wow,
impressive.
that's amazing.
What a cool
Amazing.
story,
so,
guys.
so what's next?
Yeah, where'd he
Oh
go?
God.
Are you gonna take a nap maybe or
No.
no?
We are testing out the U.S. market right now.
Okay,
Yeah,
So we have.
exciting.
carefully.
Yeah, carefully. So
Carefully.
you know,
Very
part of the UNFI Up Next program down there,
carefully.
which is a great
Mhm.
program. Just North Atlantic, Northeast, really easy shipping
Yeah,
lanes.
a
for
warehouse
us.
at a
Mhm.
time.
Yep, you got
Mhm.
it. We're in 2 warehouses right
Yeah,
now.
calm it down.
You know, take it one step. There's
Yeah.
some great, some great buzz around it with some great retailers down there. So just started within the last 2 weeks.
Potatoes are looking good. This crop of
Yeah.
potatoes,
Good.
obviously we would have.
Oh,
had
you have to
planned
worry about
significant
that
amount more
too.
Potatoes
Well,
this
you're
year.
into that. Is there
Hmm.
other things outside potato chips in our mind? I'm assuming salty snack doesn't stop at a potato chip.
Yeah.
No, exactly. So maybe some other, subcategories with salty snacks down the road for sure. There's, one thing we know from working in our past is that salty snacks, each subcategory, they have their day, right? So it'll grow, kettle chips and grew, and then
Mhm.
it'll start to slow down. And popcorn did the same thing, and they all kind
That
of
gets
ebb and
boring. You want something different, right?
Yeah.
But you know what doesn't? You know what stays steady? Traditional like flat potato chip, right? That's always steady growth, last 20 years, very
Yeah.
steady. So it's, kind of trying to figure out and see what the trend is and jumping on it sort of before it gets, before it starts to tip down the other side. So trying to be smart about innovation and subcategories to go into, and then who knows? Maybe
A new
outside of
flavor,
humble
maybe?
snacks for a reason.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Flavors are always fun to do,
Flavors?
just because,
Flavors are
what the
fun.
hell? Plus,
Yeah.
retailers like it, consumers like it.
Yeah.
It's an
Yeah.
easy way to do something quick without.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe a little spicy.
Yeah.
Something a little
Spicy would be
spicy
cool.
fun. Yeah.
Spicy would be cool.
Yeah,
Spicy
Jeff
would be
did
very
a,
cool.
a ghost pepper chip in his past, which was kind of, too spicy, way too spicy. But yeah, it was a fun.
People do like it.
Yeah.
I mean, it may not sell as much, but
We're
We'll
looking
buy
at
it.
pretty cool. I'd buy it. I'd like Phil.
Kenny
I'd
and
give
I
it a
would
try.
buy
We'd try it. We have no self-control.
We've got like tons of flavors in the
Yeah.
hopper.
Yeah.
Like tons of flavors. I think one thing we really need to figure out is price pack architecture,
Yep.
strategy for
Yeah.
channels.
Yep.
And I think that's something we're looking at right now.
That's something you need to, because
We're getting
you
a
know,
lot of questions about like small bags and a lot of,
there should
large,
be though. Like
Yeah.
Costco's going to phone one day. You don't want to go in the same size.
No.
And then convenience is going to call, and you don't want to be in the same size. And then drug might even be something, but you might want to even go a different angle. Like you got to, protect each channel a little bit too. People like that.
It's good
because
to get
retailers
on
all
that,
like
right?
that too.
Because you're
Think of
also like, because you're dipping your toe into the U.S. and
For
then
sure.
the U.S. It's one of those things, right? The U.S. If your pricing fundamentals are off,
Yeah.
like you'll know it fast, right?
Well, the
But
problem is
fixing
it'll
be
hurt
really hard,
Canada.
right? Yeah.
Like that's the country
Yeah.
that can kill the whole thing, right? If you're
Yeah.
really got to think it through. And that's why
Yeah.
small warehouses, you pick a couple,
Good
find
for
the
you.
couple of the key retailers to make that warehouse viable, and then get your brokers and stuff to, circle it.
That's it.
Yeah.
right?
that's
And
great.
try to do that. But to Phil's point, it's your pricing is, yeah,
Crazy.
critical, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
that's a
and
big
it
one.
You
It's
can't
critical
run
and-
too lean.
No. Well, and especially now too, with all the inflation that's been,
Yeah.
occurring
Yeah.
the last couple of years,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
continuing,
This
it's
year particularly, yeah.
yeah. So
Well, the next 2 or 3 years.
that's it.
Yep.
So I think it'll be kind of a critical place for us just to kind of make sure we have that before we get too far down the line.
Yeah, I think that's
Easy.
probably a smart move. And even with your potatoes, I mean, consider that as supply chain for food tightens up,
Mhm.
and if money does tighten up, we all go back to basics, and potatoes are one of them. And it could, you got to protect your supply chain because they could go other places, right?
Yep.
Yeah, no
Yeah,
doubt.
for sure.
No doubt.
That's
So-
That's good though.
There's two new wrinkles there, that I've never really like, because supply is one of those things that, like, when you're the other guys, any old potato will do, right?
Yeah,
And so
no.
you don't really worry about. It's like packaging, right? Like any old bag will do
Will
because
do.
we got it, So between those two,
It's
wow.
it's a little dicier because you
Yeah.
are.
it's kind
there's
of a
not a million
new
organic
dynamic
guys.
to the model.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And not
Yeah.
only organic, we use very specific organic chipping potatoes. Not everybody uses, like, a chipping potato has low starch, low sugars, right? So it fries better,
Fries better, right.
essentially. Yeah,
Yeah.
and not everybody uses chipping potatoes, but we researched and kind of picked some really great ones, and that's what our farmers growing for us. And it's
One farm or multiple farmers.
yeah.
So that's
multiple-
where we're also expanding that network.
Well, I'm asking
Yeah.
because I'm trying to think ahead for you.
Dude,
too,
No,
they've
right?
got
well,
1,000 stores. So that one potato farmer is like,
Hey, I don't
"Oh
know
my
what the
God,
guy's
I don't
got.
have enough space." Like,
Who knows? He might have acreage, but even if he did, if he
Yeah.
has a bad crop, what are you going to do?
That's it.
Exactly. You have
Yeah.
to be
You
so
can't
careful.
you can't put your eggs into one basket. You
No.
got to have
No.
like 4 or 5 farmers on board.
Yeah.
So we're
You got to
doing
protect
that.
yourselves, right?
Yep.
Looking to diversify regionally, looking at
Shit.
where do we grow potatoes,
smart,
organic
yeah.
chipping potatoes.
Yeah.
If there's a potato farmer that's interested in organic but isn't converted over to organic yet,
mhm,
there's a lot of notice that like they got to
Mhm.
prepare their fields.
Mm-hmm.
And so like we're talking to farmers all
the
across the
time,
country,
Which is
kind
good
of
too.
regionally,
Different
up and
climates.
down.
See if you can spread that. We don't know where droughts are going to be. You don't know who's going to get rain. And
Yep.
Did you think you would be here? Like, after working, sales in a great big snack company? I got to go talk to farmers about how they're growing their potatoes.
I know.
sure
I
changes
know
how
so
you
much
look at
about
things,
potatoes.
right?
No, I don't think I dreamt that this was where we were going to be, but I think it's like perfect.
Well,
And
it's
by the
kinda
way,
serendipitous,
farmers are
right?
the best people to talk to.
100%.
I will tell you that.
Oh,
That
yeah.
is
They pick up the phone and they love what they do, and they just
Yeah.
they're
It's
just
salt
the
of the earth,
best
right? It's a
humans.
whole
Yeah.
different.
Yeah.
They're growing food for all of us to
Yeah.
be
Yeah.
alive. I mean,
That's
come
right.
on.
That's
come
right.
on.
They're like the few people, right? Like, on the planet going, you guys are a bunch of dummies, right? Like,
Yeah.
They probably are.
and they're right, actually. Like,
How many times have we told you
yeah.
shit like this was going to
Yeah.
happen? Like,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
not
yeah.
rocket
Yeah,
science.
No.
No.
But
Yeah.
good for you. That's wow.
It's interesting
Wow.
because you start to hear things from the farmer a few months before it becomes
Mainstream.
headline news.
Oh, absolutely.
Or you start hearing about ripple effects on
Mhm.
with retailers or the suppliers or whatever. But the farmer's always the first one to know.
For sure.
It's
Yeah.
For sure.
that's
Well, the
what
farmer
we're gonna
will
do.
tell you in March that the wheat crop in August
Yeah.
is going to suck.
Yeah.
Yep.
They know,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
right? By the time we know it's December,
Well, yeah, I mean, when
know,
oil
but-
hit the fan here too, right? Like
Yeah.
sunflower oil, all oil.
Yeah.
It was
All.
it was pretty. That was another
for
massive
sure.
moment where we
sure.
were like, oh my gosh, are we going to even have oil to be able to?
Well, and
Yeah.
again, this is why, like, I'm asking you guys, and this is what,
Yeah,
buying a little bit ahead.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to watch your finances too. I mean, thank
Oh,
God, recession or not, nobody's going to stop eating chips. Like, junk food always
Yeah,
has.
especially in recessions.
Yeah, junk food, booze,
Small
gambling,
indulgence,
all those
right?
nice, beautiful indulgences we all
Mhm.
love. Just hang on tight.
Yeah.
Thank God.
Yeah. So yes, it's been I think
That's
one
cool.
thing is, you got to talk to a lot of people.
Yeah.
You have to. You can't just stick with one path. It changes every single day.
Yeah.
Like we are
Right, and learn from people.
yeah, people, they'll step up
Sure.
when you need them too. So it's been pretty incredible, pretty incredible to get this thing to where we have it.
Plus, we're all Canadian. I hope we step up, right?
Yeah.
Right?
We're supposed to do that.
You two are amazing.
I think it's really cool, guys. Like seriously, I think
Stop
it's remarkable. It's what a cool story.
Thank you.
But Jaron said you guys would have a cool story.
Yeah, it's inspiring.
But it's really,
wow.
it's just like, and your timing has been so
Yeah.
fast,
Yeah.
like so
Yeah.
fast for such a niche play. I know
We-
potato chips aren't niche, but what you're doing
But
is
like
neat.
what we're, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
We've certainly had a lot of breaks along the way, and like I
Yeah.
said, some good fortune and certainly some bad fortune, no doubt about it. But I think we've reacted pretty quickly.
But good
bounce back,
instincts,
man.
right?
You
Good
bounce back.
instincts,
I don't know. I don't
and
know.
then kind of that will to move quick, right?
Right.
I
Yeah.
think that's
Yeah.
And obviously, you had some
Hopefully
good
it served you well.
relationships with people
Yeah.
from the old days still that were willing
Yeah.
to just hang
Yeah.
tough and wait for
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
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 Good for you guys.
Thank you guys
Great.
for coming on.
It's a fantastic
Uh,
story.
this is
Seriously, that was
fantastic.
really cool.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for having
Well,
us.
thanks for having
Yeah.
us. Thanks for enjoying our potato chips.
Yeah.
Oh my God!
Jeez,
Damn
honestly.
you two!
I
There's
almost
still a
forgot
bowl
about
over
that. You know,
there.
forget
It's
I
not
don't
eating
talk them
itself.
stupid
Damn
chips.
it!
I gotta go put. I'm gonna have to go put Narcos on and have a bag of chips.
So the last thing on the bag is I told all three kids, right? I was like, look at the bag. And then my youngest is I've gone a little crazy on like recycling and making sure, we do the right thing.
Yeah.
And she's kind of followed me on that. And she was like, no, this is not, no. It's got foil and I said, no, read it, and so she was on the website actually looking and she was like, oh, this is cool. Like this can go in the compost. This is amazing, right? I'm like, so it's kind of cool.
It's good
I love
though.
it. I
Well,
really
they're the
love
ones that
it.
are gonna change it. It's not gonna be
Yeah.
us. Well, I'm a lot older than
No.
the two. of
They're
you.
gonna change it, right?
It's
in
definitely
the-
gonna be.
Yeah.
Yeah, for
Or
sure. I
you
mean,
guys. It's not gonna be my generation. It's you guys are stuck with us.
Yeah.
We'll just leave it for you.
That's why we're doing it, right? It's for
You have
them,
to.
right?
You have to.
those kids
Amazing.
and their kids.
That's really
and everything.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Those are so nice. That's such a good story.
it is. It's an amazing
Wow, that's
story.
really neat.
What's the best way for people to find you if they want to talk to you? Like, is LinkedIn
Humble.
kind of the best way, or
Yeah. Instagram, Alicia is the Instagram. It's
You're talking
Okay.
to me.
Okay, so we're talking directly to Alicia at that point.
at Humble Potato Chips.
Okay.
Website's humblechips.ca. We get
Okay,
a lot of
cool.
website inquiries as
Yeah.
well. So.
okay?
Cool.
Okay, we'll put all those in the show notes as well. Thank you so much for coming on.
Awesome.
Thanks
Thanks
for
for
having
having
It
us,
was
guys.
great fun.
Oh,
yeah,
our pleasure.
thank
Seriously,
you.
that was
And
fantastic.
thank you for the chips. They're amazing.
The chips were really good.
Glad you
No
enjoyed.
problem.
As
Anytime.
much as we pissed and moaned about them, the chips are really good.
I know, and you know what? I saw it because I have a Longo's that I buy stuff at, and it's right around the corner for me.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep, go in there.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Nice. Well, thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. We
Yeah.
appreciate that.
Thanks. Have a
Sounds
wonderful night.
Have a nice
Yeah,
evening,
you too.
guys.
Thanks,
Thank you.
guys.
Bye, guys.
They'll stay on for a minute.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Later.
Ciao.
Wow,
Wow.
they're
Pretty neat,
delightful. Yeah. Once I
I
gotta get
honestly
my
didn't know the
chips.
time. I didn't know the time frame was that tight.
It's super tight. Like it's so crazy how tight.
Well,
It's so crazy.
you
Like it's
think about
almost
it.
unimaginable
Well,
how
they didn't have it. They didn't have anything prior to February.
and they
21.
don't like. I think it's really important to know. Like they have nothing in house. This is not like
No.
this is not like we've had lots of people on who make their own stuff.
Phil,
right?
they didn't have a
then-
potato guy. in
I know.
February yet.
Like, but this is what I'm saying, right? Is like because sometimes when you have stuff in your own house,
Right.
you can turn stuff around
Right.
fast, right? Because it's just about you doing it. This is like they got nothing. Like potato farmer over there,
But they didn't
packaging
even have
people
a
over
potato
there.
farmer
Like
yet, so you don't even know if the
I
guy's
know,
organic
like-
or not. Then you got to
Well-
go try to find packaging. Then you got to find someone who can make it for you. Like that's a lot of shit in a really short period of time. Like I'm surprised they only had that one real screw up.
and the screw
Because-
up to recover in less than 60 days.
Oh, it's ridiculous.
It's
I
Again,
know. companies
nothing
who have
in house,
people and
right? So
money
you're
that can't
you're
do it.
working with outside people.
Yeah, no, that's insanity. And at that time of
Boom.
year,
Yeah.
I don't. That doesn't make any
Um,
sense. Wow, good on them. Good on them.
It's fantastic.
Yeah, that was really good. Like, yeah, wow.
No, I
Okay,
really
we'll have to thank Jiren for this one too. We'll have to try to be
Mhm.
nice to him, I guess, right?
hmm Thanks,
Not
Jaron.
too nice. Thanks, Jiren, but not too nice to him. Just a little bit nice.
Yeah. All right. Thank you for listening to the show.
Thanks, everybody. That was a good episode. Cool.